Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the Choose a Fest exclusive gift event along with this new Super Godfest that has just gone live in North America. So, for this Choose a Fest exclusive gift, basically we have a special one-time gift dungeon with multiple different options to choose, and once you clear the dungeon, you will acquire that respective card. If you pick one, you cannot pick the others, so don't just enter this willy-nilly because you only can actually acquire a single copy of one of these cards. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail for each of them, but I want to touch upon the Super Godfest briefly beforehand because it does have quite nice rates overall. It has a 7% chance for the Halloween cards, 41% chance for any Godfest exclusive, bringing the total goodies up to 48%, which is actually a wonderful rolling rate, especially if you can benefit from them. With that being said, I do feel like PAD is starting to definitely transition to a state where Godfest exclusives, while nice, are starting to become much more common, and the value of it has become somewhat diluted, I feel. Mostly because nowadays the Monster Exchange system is less friendly than it used to be, because many of the key chase cards for any respective event tend to be featured in the middle rarity or as a background music card or as an orb skin card, which none of those can be monster exchanged for. So you might be possibly in a situation where you have tons and tons of Godfest exclusives, but just not truly enough places to actually dump and use them. Of course, that may not necessarily be your case, but I've started to notice that on my two accounts that this is kind of what's starting to happen. I think it's partially because we've been given quite a few different free rolls, lots of magic stones. I can be more liberal with rolling, so at least for myself, I'm finding myself starting to roll more directly in those seasonal events. Like I rolled more in Valentine's event because when I think about it, I have virtually none of the cards except for the bottom rarity because all I've ever done in those events is free roll. And then at least there's a chance I can pick up something in the mid rarity that is valuable or something even more zesty that I couldn't have traded for otherwise. So this Godfest is not by any means a bad event, but we're just starting to see kind of like power creep when it comes to like rolling events and what is featured and how high those rolling rates are. Now, of course, if you do plan on rolling in this respective Godfest, I would recommend you roll before you actually try and choose a Fest exclusive card, because there is that small chance that you actually roll the card you are wanting to trade for. So with that out of the way, I want to take a look at the cards and give you a bit of an idea of which one you should try and pick, because I'm going to go under the presumption that you have none of these cards. So in a vacuum, what's going to be the most useful for yourself? So thankfully, I own a good chunk of these cards, so we can actually take a look at them through my monster box. So the first one I want to draw your attention to is the Remdraw Trios. So the Remdraw Trios are a fantastic rainbow leader and subsequent sub potentially for rainbow-based teams. The biggest drawback for them and every other card featured for this gift exchange is an incredibly high cooldown for their transformation step. Remdraw Trio, if I'm not mistaken, is the shortest at 27 turns, with Toy Dragons needing 32 turns to transform. So you are going to have your work cut out for you, because Remdraw, even though they have a lower cooldown at 27, you still have to transform multiple times to get to their final form. But if you are able to get to their final form, they have a 3-turn cooldown, so you can mix and match other board changers to get at least 3 different cards that bring board changers to guarantee activation, so Remdraw Trios can do that. Toy Dragons are also a great mix. Remdraw Trio and Toy Dragons play very well together, actually. So we'll just focus on Remdraw for now. So big damage output with the Levitation, triple 10 combo, 2/4 Attribute Awakenings, Guard Break. They'll do spectacular amounts of damage. They don't gain a damage cap increase, which is obviously a bit on the disappointing side, but their active skill is wonderfully strong because it gives you a rainbow board, which is what you wanted, and it gives you 1 turn of damage penetration and 1 turn of attribute absorption cancellation, solving 2 big problems in this active skill. And the more Remdraw Trios you have, the more immune you are to these types of mechanics. But like I mentioned, mixing Remdraw Trio with Toy Dragon is beneficial because Toy Dragons don't have auto follow attack in their leader skill, whereas Remdraw Trios do have auto follow attack, so asymmetrically pairing can be advantageous. You still can run Toy Dragons by themselves, but with this auto follow attack, you don't have to worry about making that columns of hearts, and I can guarantee you, you are most likely going to forget to make a column of hearts at some point in time and feel a little silly after you get executed by an actual resolve spawn. So they can mix and match well, but in terms of like long-lasting staying power, weapon assists tend to be where they have tremendous amounts of value. And I've somehow been blessed with 4 Remdraw Trios, so that's pretty great. So I'm going to go through all the weapon assists quickly. The first one is a skill boost and double 7 combo, along with 2 turns of haste and damage penetration, along with attribute absorption. So a nice mixture of useful active skill effects. Gives haste, gives absorption, penetration, negation, gives personal damage to the owning card, a double 7 combo, skill boost. Doesn't have team HP, so obviously can be a bit of a drawback there, but again, still a strong weapon assist. Conversely, the Diamond Remdraw's figurine is an incredible weapon assist for rainbow-based teams because it's got the 5 attribute awakening, which is 4.5 times personal damage, 2 team HP awakenings, and a skill boost. So just from an awakenings point of view, this is quite strong, but the fun does not stop there. This active skill gives you 3 turns of haste along with full bind and awoken bind clearing and unmatchable. So it's an active skill that oftentimes will help you on turn 1 because 3 turns of haste is never a bad thing. And there are definitely instances where on floor 1 you do receive Awoken Skill Bind or Unmatchable or something along those lines, and you can counteract that. So any rainbow-based team would obviously love this weapon assist. It helps you bridge that gap for those high skill boost needs because this is 4 effective skill boosts baked into this one weapon assist. And bulk and damage for those rainbow-based teams. Unfortunately, kind of to a certain extent, Remdraw Trios, Toy Dragons, they're some of the better rainbow leaders, so you may not want to make them a weapon assist because you wouldn't have a rainbow team to use otherwise. But point of the matter is, strong weapon assist. Their light form has 3 skill boosts and 2 turns of haste, so if you're looking for just raw amounts of effective skill boosts, this could be a strong option. And then finally, the green version gives a wood sub-attribute and triple team HP, movement time, skill boost, and 3 turns of haste. So for any mono wood-based team, this could be a wonderful weapon assist for you to actually have. Point of the matter is, Remdraw Trio has 4 useful weapon assists and a powerful base form that they can be used as a leader or a sub for rainbow-based teams, and they can definitely pair with Toy Dragons. So, speaking of Toy Dragons, let's take a look at those Toy Dragons because I somehow got 2 of them from 2 free rolls in a previous event. So, they only need 1 transformation step Toy Dragons, but they have 32 turns to transform, which is obviously kind of awkward to deal with considering they only bring 3 skill boosts themselves, but when they do transform, similar idea, excessive amounts of damage, but they also have an active skill that makes a 7x6 board, along with giving them a damage cap increase to 6 billion. So having a Toy Dragon hit 18 billion is pretty commonplace, especially when they are a leader, because they have, in all honesty, one of the most fun leader skills, mostly because it creates some of the highest combo counts you'll ever see. So imagine you're using Toy Dragon's active skill. You have the 7x6 board. You have potentially 14 combos on there already. Their leader skill gives you plus 1 bonus combo for each Toy Dragon as leader. So in theory, double Toy Dragon leaders is plus 2 combos for every fire, wood, or water combo actually made. So your combo count goes up and up. And every time your combo count goes up, your damage as a whole does go up, but your attack multiplier also increases with those respective 3 colors. Furthermore, you gain 78% damage reduction and 10 combos when you hit 10 or more combos along with bonus attack multiplier. So point of the matter is, even in Super Gravity, you have, to a certain extent, unlimited attack multiplier. Everything hits unbelievably hard on Toy Dragon teams. You lack the auto follow attack, but that's where Remdraw Trio can come in to give you that auto follow attack, along with the fact that you may not need these damage penetration latents anymore, because Remdraw Trio does give that damage penetration aspect, so it does open up some team building capabilities. I think they are a fun leader because it's just nice hearing that large combo count, like ding, 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 ding. They can clear lots of content. Pairing together can clear lots of content. And if you don't like them as a leader, they do have strong weapon assists as well. Their fire and wood form are nearly identical with a sub-attribute for the respective color, double team HP, and 2 seconds of orb movement time. Nice awakenings, but nothing game-changing by any means. This leader swapping aspect is probably not going to happen because most leaders nowadays transform or have transforming active skills, so it may not come to fruition. But their water form, for some reason, is incredibly strong. They have the water sub-attribute, which is obviously wonderful for those teams, double team HP, 10 combo, and tape resist on top of it. It's jam-packed with value, and in all honesty, if your card was not hitting outrageously high amounts of damage, or they had the wrong sub-attribute to begin with for, like, say, a monocolored team, this is not going to be a bad thing, because let's say, for example, you're using something that is on a mono light team and their sub attribute is green. So a wood sub attribute is just as useless as a blue sub attribute, but you can give that card a 10 combo, so that's 5 times personal damage on their main attribute, the tape resist and bulk. So even if the sub attribute doesn't help you, as long as it's not hindering you, aka taking away a sub attribute color that was useful to you, this is a great weapon assist overall because bulk, damage, and tape resist. And tape resist, in all honesty, is one of the few resists that I go out of my way to actually achieve, because everything nowadays needs to activate their leader skill or you die. For example, your rainbow based teams, if you get taped and then you use your board changer and your key orbs for like one of your colors is all stuck at the bottom and you have no way to physically match them together, it's going to mean you actually die. So tape resist is something I go out of my way to achieve, and this weapon assist is amazing. So even if though the water sub attribute may look like a bit of a downside if it's not mono water teams, as long as it's not further hindering you by taking away a useful sub attribute, it doesn't matter. You can just pretend the water sub attribute wasn't there, and all those other awakenings are just great on their own. And I guess in theory it's one turn of full damage immunity, which may or may not come into handy. So as a general blanket statement, I feel that the Remdraw Trio and the Toy Dragons are the strongest cards to acquire just because they have the best weapon assists, and as a general statement, weapon assists tend to have the longest staying power compared to other cards out there. So that being said, let's take a look at Graner. And Graner is one of the best pairings for Kurotobi. I think it is the best pairing for Kurotobi. They could still function as a strong sub, it's just that they're oftentimes used as a leader simply because they are amazing on Kurotobi teams. So they need 30 turns to transform, and when they do provide a 5-turn delay, so even if your team has multi-step transformations or even longer cooldowns, the delay, assuming it can be utilized, is going to make a big difference. Once transformed, triple 10 combo, 4 TPA awakenings and levitation along with 2 seconds of orb movement time. Great spread of awakenings, wonderful offensive might. Their active skill is giving them damage and cap increase to 8 billion, and they give void, damage absorption, and attribute absorption for a single turn. So it's solving your absorption problems and it's also giving him potentially 16 billion damage on that given turn. You can see kind of why they're utilized as a asymmetrical pairing for Kurotobi, because they bring so many useful things, and the leader skill gives you great bulk along with auto follow attack bonus combos when you match water and dark orbs, which is going to happen. So generally speaking, Graner tends to be utilized on your Kurotobi teams. A Kurotobi team might look something like this, with your Grigory being able to be a looping shield who can deal meaningful amounts of damage. Kurotobis, you want to have ideally one of your own. You could possibly find other substitutions, but your own Kurotobis lead it so with one Kurotobi solves an active skill every turn. You only need 2 because of the 2-turn cooldown. Wonderfully strong team, but again, if you don't have Kurotobi, it's not going to be that great of a team because you kind of need to have Kurotobi to truly make it function. But on the flip side, if you had a single Kurotobi, you may want to get Graner because they are an incredibly strong pairing. In terms of their weapon assist, it's all right. Like, double team HP, double TPA, a water sub attribute. Again, water sub attribute may or may not come into fruition, but the active skill is swapping with the leader monsters. So kind of like I mentioned before, most leaders nowadays tend to already have a transforming active skill, or they transform themselves, so they can't utilize this. We need someone else to swap your cards into position. So I have this weapon assist. I've never actually used it. The next card I want to take a look at is Cano and Corone. I have pretty much never used this card in all honesty, like in their base form. 4 skill boosts, 30 turns to transform. When they are transformed, they have 6-10 combo awakenings, which is just a little silly when you think about it. Their active skill is a 2-turn cooldown, and it gives them a damage cap increase to 6 billion, so I'm quite confident they will hit 18 billion. But the active skill also gives them exactly 6 water, wood, light, dark, hearts, which is the equivalent to a perfect 10 combo board every single time. So you can, in theory, match that perfect 10 combo board, trigger their 6-10 combo awakenings, deal spectacular amounts of damage. Drawback is, as a leader, they provide 0 bonus combos in their leader skill. Now, that's not to say that it's not going to be able to work around, because their active skill does generate 10 orbs or 10 combos every time. Problem is, if there's any negative combo spawn, you are just going to never actually hit that 10 combo threshold, and it's just going to be kind of annoying. So, like, hitting exactly 10 combos is cool, but nowadays most teams hit many more combos naturally. So it's just something that I find a little bit awkward, unfortunately. Like, I think it could be a fun leader. I think it's going to be like an aesthetically pleasing or just a pleasing to solve board, because it kind of feels nice. You match your board, you get exactly 10 combos. It probably feels a little nice, but it's just not as relevant, I feel, overall, because there are just stronger leaders out there. For their weapon assist, there is 10 combo with a team HP, team RCV, 2 wood OEs. Never a bad thing. Active skill itself tied to it, it's not going to solve too many problems aside from the delay. But again, if you can delay, it's 3 effective skill boosts, some bulk, offensive might. Cano's plushie, it's double team HP, 6 wood OEs, and a skill boost with 2 turns of haste. Just a wonderfully nice weapon assist for mono wood teams. They have another version that's very similar in a different color. This Bonito as 10 combo for dark based teams with the 2 dark OEs and the dark combos. Not a bad thing overall. This plushie here gives you a VDP along with 6 dark OEs and a skill boost and 3 turn delay. No bulk, but offensive might for your mono dark teams. This feathered hair clip is 8,000 auto healing with bind immunity. So in theory, your Shiva dragons could utilize these weapon assists and provide a large amount of auto healing and actually be bind immune. I think this might be the most auto healing with bind immunity from a weapon assist. I could be mistaken, but it's definitely one of the most. And then for this plushie here, it's got 6 light orb enhances, a VDP, and the skill boost. So similar to the dark counterpart with 3 turns delay. I think all these weapon assists are nice, but none of them are super outstanding compared to, like, say, like Remdraw Trio or even Toy Dragon. So I place less value on Cano and Corone. Just double checking, is it 5 different things? It's 5 different things. I don't own Reun and Sylvie, so we're gonna use this monster search feature here. So I am gonna start typing in Reun and Sylvie. And they come up here. They are a transforming card like every other card that's being featured. They have a 30 turn cooldown in order to transform. When they do transform, it gives you 2 turns of haste, so it's not bad. And when they do transform, they have 4 10 combos, they have 2 VDPs, they have 4 heart orb enhances, and they're water and wood. So you think right away, wow, Muchiro teams can make great use of this card, and that's definitely true. She's the correct colors, she does massive amounts of damage because of the correct offensive awakenings. She also heals a significant amount due to the 4 enhanced heart orbs, and her active skill is your cleric type active because it gives you a full board changer of water, wood, and hearts, so it technically solves problematic boards. Fully recovers bind, awoken bind, unmatchable, and gives you a single turn of haste. These are all wonderful stuff baked into this active skill, but the biggest problem is Muchiro teams, assuming you're paired with New Year's Wadatsumi, are all transforming overall, and then if your Reun and Sylvie are also transforming, you have 5 cards potentially that are transforming. So where are you going to get enough skill boosts or effective skill boosts to actually transform all these people safely? I think it's potentially incredibly strong, but at the same time it's awkward to work around because all these cards that I mentioned, like if I take a look at Muchiro, Wadatsumi, they have incredibly long cooldowns. Like Wadatsumi has a 3 skill boost only and a 30 turn transformation. You have Muchiro, which I only have a single copy of. They have 32 skill boost needs. It's really 30 because if you do use Reun and Sylvie, you can transform them with 30 turns, 2 turns haste. But point of the matter is, all these cards have only 3 skill boosts, so you have 15 skill boosts across those 5 cards, and you need 30 to transform. You're gonna have to work pretty darn hard along with your last sub actually being someone with lots of skill boosts. And at the same time, someone like Ceres is often a popular choice because she can have significantly more healing output. And yes, damage would be nice to have from the Sylvie Reun, but there's a good chance you already do enough damage. And your series are able to have significantly more healing output. Active skill is 1 cooldown less, so it comes up 1 turn sooner. But the big advantage is Ceres does not actually transform. You can inherit something over top of her, which in turn gives her even more effective skill boost, because she has 4 right here. With this just simple Bond's Bowtie weapon assist, she brings an extra skill boost, which anyone could have done technically, but then 2 turns of haste through the active skill. But you definitely could bring other actives that are like 3 turns haste or many turns delay. Point is, Ceres does give you more flexibility to get yourself transformed. Once you are transformed, Sylvie and Reun are obviously going to be a much stronger choice because they actually deal damage, but they heal less and it's harder to get going. So I am less excited about that reason. And then for their weapon assists, they are not that helpful overall, I feel, because their weapon assists, both of them share essentially the same awakenings of sub-attribute for the respective color. VDP, 1 heart OE, and 4 orb enhances of either wood or water. And then the active skill is the same for both. It gives you, on a 15 turn cooldown, 4.5 billion damage cap increase for 30 turns and 2 turns of haste, and then enhancing their respective color. So if you are playing a team that doesn't have a card that does not need to transform or does not want to run like other latents, you can increase their damage cap through this weapon assist, but it only works for that given card. So I feel like the true applications for this are not as diverse compared to the other weapon assists actually available. So in summary, in a vacuum, assuming you don't have any of these cards, I would say the Remdraw Trio and the Toy Dragons are the most valuable because they're great leaders and subs for their respective teams. They can asymmetrically pair. They also have strong weapon assists. After that, if you did have, let's say, Kurotobi of your own, Graner was obviously going to be a great choice because it's just the greatest pairing for him at this point in time. So if you have Kurotobi, possibly get Graner. If you don't have anything, Remdraw Trio or Toy Dragons. Cano and Corone, not a big fan of. Like, they're nice, but not as nice. And same with Sylvie and Reun. Like, those are probably who I'm going to trade for, mostly because I actually have at least 2 copies of everything else, so I'm probably going to do that for myself. But if you have nothing, I would not pick Reun and Sylvie for the most part, unless you can truly think of a dedicated place to use them. And remember, unlike the monster exchanges of the past where you could pick up these things and just hoard these medals forever, which I've kind of done, you have to play this gift dungeon within the next 8 days or you're out of luck. So make the choice of what you think is going to be best for your given monster box and where you can utilize them the most or the longest. But if you can't really make a decision, Remdraw Trio or Toy Dragons, just because they have the best weapon assist overall, and weapon assist will probably last longer, along with just being strong subs for their rainbow-based teams, because they may have new rainbow teams in the future. Regardless of all that, let me know what you lovely ladies and gentlemen think about these cards in the comment section down below. Do you think you will actually, who will you actually pick up and why did you pick them up? And tell me your rationale behind that. Regardless of all that, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen have a truly fantastic day. I wish you the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.